group that could play a significant role in the outcome of the election, young voters. But many in-person registration events that target young voters, say at shopping malls or on college campuses, canceled because of the coronavirus pandemic. Joining me now is Abby Keisha, Director of Impact at Circle. That organization conducts research on young voters at Tufts University. Abby, good to see you. It's a very important day. From some data you provided us show 20 states, and we can show a map of this, where registration among young voters in 2020 already exceeds 2016 levels. The challenge is that shows early voting underway or starting today. We could show higher youth voter registration map. Hopefully we can get it up there on the screen for you. If you have it already in 20 states, you've exceeded 2016 levels. How do you get to 50?
Thanks so much for asking that, John. So at Circle and at Tisch College of Civic Life at Tufts University, we're looking not only at young people's access to opportunities to participate and their influence, we're also looking at how we can make those opportunities more accessible. And one of the things that we all can do in the next 6 weeks, regardless of who we are, whether or not we're in the media, parents, friends, we can talk to people about the essential information that they might need. We can talk to people about what they think about the election, ask young people especially what they think about issues, and be talking to other people about that, posting on social media, texting folks, to make sure that all of this is really in front of the people who need access to it.
And when you say in front, when you identify the challenges to getting more young people to register, you say a lack of knowledge about online voter registration, a lack of access to information about how to cast absentee and mail ballots. This information is available in places. I'm guessing the challenge here is to get it to younger people in the places they use, the platforms they use, whether that be social media or other means. Is that right?
Exactly. And one of the important things to point out about young people is that 15 million young people, 18 to 29, have aged into the electorate since the last presidential election. So at least 1/3 of young people don't have experience with accessing some of these, websites or systems previously. And that's a significant thing that we have to do every election cycle, is bring those millions of young people into our small d democratic system. And one of the things that in this year where we have the pandemic happening is some of the state laws, not laws, but some of the state processes have changed. And so everyone needs to relearn these processes, because only about a quarter of 18 to 29-year-olds have voted absentee or by mail before. And so that's a lot of young people who need new access to this information.
Abby Keisha, grateful for your work and your insights today. Keep us posted on those numbers as we move through the next couple of weeks and people get a chance to register. Thanks so much.